You're watching Singapore Tonight. Counsellors are urging parents to build stronger relationships with their children and monitor their online activities to guard against youth radicalization. They warn extremist material is becoming easier to find. Now, for the first time, a tertiary student who was radicalized online when he was a teenager speaks with CNA's Aslam Shah.
About 6 years ago, Dylan's parents noticed he was spending more time online and withdrawing from those around him. Changes that felt like typical teenage growing pains. Little did they know, their son was being radicalized.
As I was browsing online, I came across some gore videos, and that in turn made me fascinated with violence and gore. And I went to actively search for gore sites and to consume such content.
The violence stopped shocking him. He watched footage of the 2019 Christchurch mosque attacks and read the attackers' manifesto. Conspiracy narratives framing Muslims as a threat began to make sense to him, and he planned to kill them in large numbers. At that time, he had little interaction with Muslims and a distorted understanding of Sharia law.
Absolutely, 100%. I believe that whatever I planned to do was completely justified.
At 16, Dylan became the first person detained in Singapore for far-right extremism back in 2020. He had planned detailed attacks on 2 local mosques using a machete. Far-right extremism is a growing trend across the world, especially among young male youths.
Dylan was arrested at his home. His parents were shocked as they had no idea what was unfolding behind his screen. Initially, detention felt like the end for Dylan and his family, but it became a turning point.
Rehabilitation, I initially had the assumption that it would be very punitive, but what surprised me was that there was a lot of support from the various stakeholders.
Pastor Joachim Lee, who counseled Dylan, says radicalization often begins with a search for identity.
You could see he was trying to find himself, right? And he found himself by having this far-right thinking and this radicalized need to take action. So that gave him a sense of belonging and a sense of identity.
Religious counsellor Ustaz Rijal, who co-counseled Dylan, says blocking websites is not enough.
The volume of penetration by the extremists themselves in the online world is quite massive. If it is not available in the public domain, they would go underground and they would be available in the dark web.
Over time, Dylan's views began to shift. He completed rehabilitation, pursued his tertiary education, and built friendships with the very community he once intended to harm.
During the rehabilitation, I met various stakeholders, and many of them were Muslims. They treated me well, with genuine kindness and compassion. My current study is in a tertiary institution. The first friend that I made was a Muslim, and I've been friends to him to this day. Had I known Muslims for who they truly were, I would not have fallen into this vicious cycle.
Dylan's parents now urge other parents to stay engaged, to know what their children are doing online and teach them to be more discerning. Pastor Joachim warns intervention becomes much harder in the teenage years if boundaries were never set.
Parents should start from a young age, allowing, let's say, 20 minutes, and then, okay, time's up. The problem is when we don't have restrictions growing up, then as teenagers we want to restrict. Impossible. All hell will break loose. If you don't do something now, what will happen in 5, 6 years, or 10 years down the road? How more extreme would that thinking be, right?
At 16, behind a screen, this seemingly ordinary student was planning to kill a path that would have destroyed his future. Timely intervention gave him a second chance and a stark reminder to parents that what happens online can have real-world consequences.